Hello, my name is Trinity, and I'm here with Alex, who's going to tell you a little bit of first-hand experience on what it's like living with fructose malabsorption. Let's get started. When were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in 2012. I was about 8 in that time.
And what is fructose malabsorption exactly?
Fructose malabsorption is natural sugars found in many foods we eat today. When we eat it, it doesn't digest properly and we become sick. Like, if I ate something that I wasn't supposed to, I would have nausea, faint, and have anger issues. And when I do, I become suicidal.
And how long were you in and out of doctors before you were diagnosed with this?
1 year.
About a year?
About a year.
Yeah. And how often would you say you'd visit doctors that year?
I would be in there from weeks at end.
So just weeks at a time?
Yep.
But did they try diagnosing you with other things that they thought it would be first?
Yes. They thought that I had a food disease, a different one. And they tried forcing me to eat stuff, but I was just getting worse and worse. And one time they put me in with this group who had the disease that they think that I had, but I didn't have it, and they were gonna put a feeding tube up my nose.
So this feeding tube, I'm sorry to stop you. What do you say they probably were thinking you had anorexia? Where you weren't able to eat, you just wouldn't eat? And starving yourself?
Yes.
Alright, just curious. Did that make you feel better about what you were feeling, or did it make you feel worse?
It made me feel worse.
Yeah, did you ever think they were going to come to an answer about what you had?
No.
Alright, let's get back to the fact that you were suicidal. When you were suicidal, would it be because you couldn't eat anything, or would it be because everything you ate made you sick, or was it just because, no one understood?
It was because everything I ate made me sick.
Alright. So I heard that you barely ate that year. Is that true?
Yes.
And you would get into a lot of fights with the family because it would make you sick to eat?
Yes.
Did it ever get to the point where you just is that why you wanted to kill yourself, because you felt like no one understood? Kinda? Alright, so let's say we fast forward and you're now at, what hospital were you diagnosed?
Mayo Clinic. It took them 2 weeks to diagnose me. They gave me this breath test for fructose malabsorption. The natural one was about 100. I had it for fructose malabsorption. And I got 150 on the breath test, which means that I was the worst one so far.
So when you say the normal one, is that normally how high, that's the highest that they've seen people with fructose malabsorption have? Because in my research it says 12 to 15 is pretty high for that's how much they want of hydrogen atoms in you when you take this fructose test.
Yes.
So you're a pretty high case. So you were really... Alright. So, that being said, once you were diagnosed, what did you have to eliminate from your diet?
I had to eliminate sugars, gluten, wheat, flour, lots of veggies, milk. I now drink lactose-free milk, lots of fruit, and a whole bunch of stuff. We have to make everything homemade.
Everything homemade. What would you say is that you miss the most that you used to be able to eat?
Apples and cherries.
Oh, are those really high in fructose?
Highest.
All right. Would you like? Why do you miss them the most? Do you know?
Because they tasted really good.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you were diagnosed with this. Now that you're here, do people ever tell you, like, when you tell them you have fructose malabsorption, what do people respond?
What is that?
What is that? Do you think there needs to be more awareness for fructose malabsorption?
Yes.
Do you hope people don't have to go through what you went through?
Yes.
What else would you have to say to people suffering from this?
I'd have to say, stay away from stuff. Don't cheat on your diet. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. What do you mean by cheat on your diet?
I mean, like, don't go and grab a candy bar or something that you can't have, or fruit, or something that you really want. Just stick the stuff that you can have, and look for stuff that you can, and not stuff that you don't.
Is it pretty emotional dealing with when you're having to talk about this stuff?
Yes, very emotional.
I'm sorry I'm having you do this. Thank you, though.
You're
It
welcome.
means a lot to me. Let's see. So, if you could have just one of those cherries or apples, what would you pick?
Apples.
All right. Now, when you tell people what it's like with fructose malabsorption, do some people not believe you?
No, everybody that I encountered believed me.
All right, but if they don't quite understand, is that kind of upsetting?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for being in the video, and thank you for having to talk about this. I know it's tough, but it means a lot. Have a good day.
You too.